Everybody, I'm going to do a little walkthrough of how to do this Excel Proficiency Assignment Part 2, mainly focusing on things that we did not do in class. But now that I say that, actually I need to start over because I didn't save my document. So this will be from the very beginning. So first I'm going to download the Microsoft Excel Proficient Dataset from Canvas. Open that up. I am going to delete all of the sheets that I don't need. Amazing, amazing. Nope, don't want to rename it. Alright, I want to keep that program's plan. Delete and delete. Alright, so we've got our raw data here. So we spent a lot of time in class cleaning up our staff data column. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to use the find and select. I'm going to remove any last names. Replace that with nothing. Alright. I'm just going off the top of my head right now of the last names that I need to replace. I'm just replacing it with nothing so they go away. I'm going to get rid of the question marks. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, undo. Okay, I don't know why that did that. But if you can't replace the question marks, it does something weird like that for you. You can just delete them manually. We'll go ahead and replace the plus signs with commas. Alright, we'll also replace the word and with a space after with a comma. Doesn't get rid of our friend Andrew's first 3 letters of his name. What else do we see here? What is this person's last name? Halper. Get rid of that last name, replace it with nothing. We'll get rid of the and sign, replace it with nothing. No. We want to replace it with a comma. Alright, let's undo. Okay, our and sign's back in there, so just the same thing. I just accidentally didn't put the comma here, so it replaced it with nothing, which is not what we want. What else? Let's replace no support needed with nothing. Let's replace backup with nothing. Still looking through, so there's going to be some things that are easier to just delete. I don't know why it is weird. Let's see if, no, it's just going to get rid of all the K's. Okay, so the rest I'm going to do manually, so I want to get rid of like the K next to Michelle. These all look good. I'm going to get rid of like the maybe. We'll just include Eric, no question mark. Ellie looks good. Wrong way. Looking for alternate support. Too bad, Andrew. It's you. These are looking good. No question mark next to Michaela. These are all looking pretty clean. Okay, the last thing. Oh, one more. Michaela available to support. Remove this K. Remove these question marks. And we can manually add in the comma here. No big deal. Looking good, looking good. Okay, now I just want to get rid of the spaces. This makes the count if formula a little bit easier to use when we do the analysis, because Excel will differentiate between like Michaela with a space after it and just Michaela with no space. So I just remove all the spaces because it is a little bit easier to work with. So that removed a bunch of spaces. Okay, so this column, I would consider that clean. I'm going to sort this just so I can see it a little better. So come over to data, sort A to Z. These all look fine. Hood Mountain, Helen Putnam. Just making sure that all of the park names that are the same are actually the same. So like here we've got Mark West, and then we've got Mark West Creek Regional Park and Preserve. That's the same park, so I'm going to get rid of the thing that's different. NA, I don't know how we can have, oh, because that's on Zoom. Okay. North Sonoma Mountain, that's looking good. Regal Ranch, Riverfront, Sonoma Valley, Spring Lake, Taylor Mountain. Okay, all of these look clean. Now we're going to come over to the maximum column. We did this in class. We're going to sort it A to Z. I'm going to turn off the sound. And then the section where there's all these NAs, I'm going to replace that with 0. And then on this Winging It Wednesday, let's just say that there are 15. Looks like Michelle didn't fill out the form all the way. And we're going to come over to registration. I'm going to clean this up. You don't have to sort your columns when you're cleaning data. I just find it helpful to do that. So like, we basically want this whole column to either say yes or no. And we want all the yeses and all the nos to look the same. So if it says drop in, I'm going to want it to say no. So I'm going to come over to the home. We're still using just the find and replace. So I'm looking for drop in. It's going to be replaced with no. Replace all. Awesome. I'm also going to replace all these NAs with no. So find and select, replace, N/A with no, replace all. And then all these no's that are lowercase, I'm going to replace it with an uppercase start. Registration should be a yes. Replace all. Okay, that's also going to change our column header, but we can change that back. We're also going to replace like an all caps yes with just the first letter capitalized yes. And then, okay, that should be good. There are no lowercase yeses. Okay, great. So now I'm just going to come back here and I'm going to rename this registration. It's either yes or no. And then the cost per registration should be the same. Just for practice, we could sort it. So come over to data. We'll sort it from lowest to highest. All the zeros should be just like a dash. And then we'll come over to the interest categories. So here we're going to clean this up. The one that I definitely notice is there's some versions of hiking that are lowercase and some that are uppercase at the beginning. So we'll change that. Replace all. Okay. We are also going to remove the spaces here. There's already commas, but I'm just kind of like looking through really carefully to see if there's anything else that I need to clean up. I don't think so. So I'm just going to do the same thing we did earlier. Make sure we replace all the spaces with nothing. Alright, I think that should be good. Why is that one still? Oh, hikers. So we're going to find and replace hikers with hiking. Replace all. Okay, so there's just one. That's fine. Youth programs, nature, hiking, family, fitness. Awesome. It can also be helpful to sort this just so like you can see all of the different things next to each other. It's easier to compare. These all look good, all look good. Great. Okay, so our interest categories are all clean. Let's check out our audience categories. Got adults, everyone, seniors, adults, everyone. We can change families with just a lowercase to families capitalized. Place all. Okay. This is looking pretty good. Adults, children, everyone. Alright, let's sort it just so we can compare it a little bit better. Alright, we got children. Well, we got adults, children, senior, adults, seniors, adults, family, children, everyone, families, kids, general public, indigenous youth, Latino community. We've got one in here that is just senior instead of seniors. So we can find and select senior, 2 seniors, replace all. I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. Okay, undo that. What do I want to do? I'm just going to add the S. Let's not make it more complicated than it needs to be. Teens, young children, families, youth families, seniors, adults. Okay. That data should be clean. Something I didn't do earlier was save this as like a new document. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to continue to save my progress. Save it to my desktop, save it. Awesome. Okay, so all of our data is clean. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to remove the spaces. Find and replace a space with nothing, replace all. Okay, close. Okay, so now we're going to start with the analysis part. So the first question on here is about how much revenue per program is possible. So we're going to take the cost, see if I can zoom in a little bit, the cost per registration for each program, multiply that by the maximum number of participants. We can even update this, max participants, just so it's a little bit more clear. And I'm going to rearrange some of these columns just so we can put the things that we're multiplying next to each other. I want one right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to take this registration column and I'm going to Control X or cut, and I'm going to paste it between cost per registration and interest categories. And then I'm going to delete these extra columns that I put in. I guess I didn't need to delete all of them. I'm going to now insert another one, revenue. Is that how you spell revenue? Sure. Adding a new column labeled revenue, and we're just going to put in our formula to multiply the cost per registration times the maximum participant for each program. So for each row, we want these numbers to be multiplied. Pushed enter, and then since all of this is lined up. We don't need to put any limiters in. We can just drag it down. This is something that a lot of folks were having a challenging time with in class. I'm going to zoom in as best I can. So if you look at my cursor right now, it is like a bold white plus sign. And that is just like the default for my cursor when it's navigating through Excel. Once I have a cell selected, it's got a little green outline around it. I can come over to this tiny, tiny little green box in the bottom right corner. When I hover my cursor or my mouse over that, my cursor turns from a bold white plus sign to a less bold black plus sign. When you see that black plus sign, that is when you can drag the formula or whatever is in that cell down. So wait for it to turn from this white bold to not bold black. Grab the, click, hold down, and drag your cursor down through all of the cells that you want to paste this in. Right now it's really zoomed in, so it's going kind of crazy. And then when you release, it'll populate everything that you selected, with that formula. So we can check it, right? I know that I put the formula in here. We know that. If we can click throughout this row and just make sure that the cells that are highlighted come down and are next to the cell that you're clicking, if that makes sense. So we can verify that all of these cells have the formula pasted correctly. And that is how you're going to answer that first question on Canvas for this assignment, which is how much revenue, total possible revenue for each individual program. So we've done these first two steps. We cleaned the data, and we have identified the total possible revenue for each individual program. Next, we're going to use a sum formula to figure out the total possible revenue for the entire season. Oh, where did my sheet go? I don't know if anybody has a Mac. This is not where I was. If anybody has a Mac that keeps just like closing Microsoft programs, mine keeps doing that. I think this is the correct sheet where we were working. So I'm going to resave this. And I guess we'll just start from there. Yeah, okay. This is the right spot. So all I'm going to do is add in a sum formula down here at the bottom of the revenue column. So I'm going to select this last cell under the last row of data, push equal, type in sum, open parentheses, and then select my range, which is the entire revenue column, close parentheses, and then push enter. And this is the total revenue, and I can label it total revenue fall 2023. I can make that bold, but that's your answer to that second question. And that was just a sum formula. Okay, now we're going to move on to some more analysis. So we're going to be trying to calculate how many programs for each park there are, how many programs each staff participated in, how many programs are in each interest category, and how many programs are in each audience category. The process for each of these things is going to be basically the same. First, I'm going to show you how you can separate the data in one column into multiple columns, and I'm going to do that with the audience categories. You don't have to do this for the data analysis, but you can. So we're going to select the column, you're going to come over to data, and you're going to select text to columns. It's going to automatically have delimited selected, and that is what you want, so you'll push next. All of our data is separated by commas, and so you can see when I select commas, this preview shows the different categories being separated into different columns instead of by commas. And then this is just going to select the data format for the columns that you're pasting this in. You can keep it as general, or you can use text. It doesn't matter, but if it was something like a date, you would then select date. And then you can push finish. And now all of our categories are separated into single cells. So if you wanted to, you could go audience categories 1, audience categories 2, and audience categories 3. If you wanted to keep them as 3 separate columns. I'm going to push undo a few times. I just wanted to show you how to do that. It's not necessary for the analyses that we're going to do. So I'm going to go back. And now, I labeled it a few times. So I got to push back a few times. So it's just undoing what I just did. Now all my categories are back, separated by commas. Let's do some analysis. So I'm going to show you a little shortcut for making a table. Let's start with audience categories. I'm going to copy this column and I'm going to paste it over here. It doesn't want me to select the entire column, so I'm just going to select what's in here. I'm going to paste. And this is just how I'm going to make sure that I have each category accounted for in my table. So like I just did, I'm going to do text to columns, all of this exactly the same, finish. I'm going to take this column, paste it at the bottom of this column. Why doesn't it let me do that? Take this piece. Jeez, Louise. Okay, I guess we'll do that again. Text to columns, delimited, comma, next, finish. I'm going to take the second column that we created, cut it, paste it to the bottom of this first one, do the same thing over here, paste it to the bottom. Alright, now I'm going to select our new column here and I'm going to remove duplicates. Okay. So there should be 19 unique values. Let's see. So we got adults, so that means we didn't clean our data very well. Children, everybody, families, general public, indigenous youth, Latino community, seniors, teens, veterans, young children, youth, 10 to 14, youth, children 7 and up, kids, and senior. So I'll say that some of these categories are pretty redundant. We'll fix the adults thing in just a second. I think it's just these two. I'm going to change that right here. So I'm just adding S's to this category, and I'm going to remove adult from our list. Some of these things are pretty redundant, like everyone, general public, youth, or young children, youth, 10 to 14, youth, children, kids. A lot of these are really, really similar. Oh, it looks like senior is another one that we didn't catch. So let's take a look over here and do like a really good look at senior, young children, families, youth. Well, these say seniors. Everyone, families, everyone. Seniors. Okay. I'm not seeing any. Okay, so I'm just going to delete senior. It should be okay. Alright, I'm going to delete this. All of these categories, regardless of it being redundant, we can count. I think if you're actually doing a report, I might see where I might want to consolidate some audience categories, and I will probably recommend that my agency does that because we don't need to really differentiate between youth 10 to 14 and youth. And then children 7 and up, like all of this is kind of one category. but we'll just leave it as is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create my formula. We're going to use count if. So I'll do an equal sign, start typing in count if, open parentheses, my range is going to be our original column here. And then because I didn't separate my data into separate columns, I have to use my quotation marks to get the results I want. So for example, for this one, I want adults, ADULTS, in quotation marks and a closed parentheses. This isn't going to do exactly what I want, but I want to show you the difference. So I'm going to push enter, and it says adults shows up 16 times. But when I only type in adults in the quotation marks, it's only going to count when adults appears by itself. So I want to include when adults appears, whether there's something before or after it. So what I'm doing there is adding a star between the quotation marks and the A, and then between the S and the end quotation marks. So I'm going to push enter. So now you can see that now it counts 25 because it includes when there's something before and after. We're going to do the same formula for all of this. So we'll add in our limiters. So put a $sign after the J in each of the cells of our range, push enter, and then I'm going to drag down this formula, and then we just have to edit whatever is between the quotation marks and the stars with the text that is in our table here. So I'm just going to copy children, paste it in there, push enter. What's wrong with this? Inconsistent formula. Yeah, that's fine. Everyone, I'm going to copy, paste it. You can see how when I change the text, the number is changing. General public. Indigenous youth. Latino community. And you can see like Latino community and Indigenous youth should be 2 words. You can always go back through like and update your data labels kind of in the final product. Like if you were to create like a report, you'd want to edit that. But as long as you know what it is during the data analysis portion, it doesn't matter too much. And as long as they're all the same, that's the main thing. Some other things to think about, kind of like bigger picture stuff, is why might we want to analyze programs based on these like audience categories. I don't know how many of y'all have taken RPT 400, the programming class. But something to think about is like who is being served and who is not being served through programs, whether that be a parks agency or for like a nonprofit. You want to know which audiences are and are not being served by your organization or the programming or whatever you're providing to a certain community or the public in general. I'd say this is most important for public agencies and probably nonprofits as well, especially if there's a specific target audience. But just something to think about, kind of like adding the why and so what to some of these Excel processes. And how can you use that information to make changes in an organization? For example, here, like I'm pretty interested in the fact that there is only one program that specifically serves Indigenous youth and only one program that specifically serves the Latino community, one program that serves teens, etc. Because I would say that those are priority audiences to engage in the outdoors. And based on the information in this data set, it doesn't seem like the folks for this agency are achieving reaching all communities. Anyway, just a little tangent. This is our beginning of our table for audience categories. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna check to make sure that we got all of the data accounted for. Sorry, I lied. We are going to get the percentage. Don't do that. We're gonna get the percentage of audience categories of the total. So I'm going to use a sum formula at the bottom here to sum up all of the possible. No, I'm not. What am I going to do? We're going to start with this, and I am going to remember what I want you to do with that. So this is our count, or number programs. Boom. I'm going to make this the same here. All right. And now we're going to do the same thing for interest categories, for parks, and for staff. It's literally going to be that same process. So let's go ahead. We're going to copy the interest categories column. We can paste it like way over here. I don't know why it doesn't like me to select the whole thing. Copy, paste it over here. We're gonna separate text to columns next, comma. There are commas, right? Yes. Okay, cool. Next, and finish. I'm gonna do that same weird thing. I'm sure that there's a better way to do this. This is just the way that I do it to make sure that I get all of the categories, and to make sure that I did enough cleaning of the data. Did I paste it down? I don't think I did. I did not. Sea life X. Paste it at the bottom. Awesome. Select, remove duplicates, okay. Alright, let's see, maybe sort it A to Z. Autumn camp, community, crabbing families, fitness, hiking, history. Ooh, there was one version of history that is spelled wrong, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy this misspelling. Gonna come over here. Gonna find and select, replace, history, replace all. Oh, it's done twice. I'm gonna make sure all that still looks good. Okay. And then we're gonna delete this misspelling out of here. Shift the cells up. There's two versions of kayaking. What is the correct way to spell kayaking? It's that one. So I'm going to copy this misspelling, come back over here, find and select, replace. Place all. Okay, there's only one. That's great. I'm going to delete the misspelling from our table. Kids, nature, outreach, sea life, volunteering, youth programs. Okay, so we've got one of each of these interest categories, and now we're going to do literally the same thing. I'm going to line this up a little bit better. I don't know why I pasted this. It's fine. I'm going to paste this a little lower. Interest categories, we're using the same formula here, but this time for the interest category. So it's going to change the range, and then obviously we're going to change what's in the criteria. So equal count if, select our range right here, and then comma A U T U N. Make sure you add in the stars so it counts what's before and what's after. Paste that down, and then we're just going to update what is in the quotes to be what is on the table. Pretty tedious. One thing I'm wondering is if I can go like this. I cannot. That would have been awesome. You can avoid having to put the actual word in the quotation marks and just use the reference to the word in the table if you did text to columns for each of these, and then just selected that entire range of like 3 columns as your range for the formula. That's another way to do this. I like to keep my like original data pretty clean, so that's why I keep it in one column and then just update the formula. This is going to tell me that my formulas are inconsistent. This formula refers to empty cells. What are the empty cells? Interest categories. None of these cells are empty. So what's up with that? Trace empty cell. That's not an empty cell. That's so weird. I want to stop tracing the empty cell. Ignore the error. Okay. I don't know why that's saying it traces to an empty cell, because that cell is not empty. Check our range again. Ooh, that's why. We forgot to put limiters in. And by we, I mean me. So I'm just going to copy the range. No, I don't want that to be my range. I want this to be my range. I'm going to add those limiters back in. Crucial step. So you can see how forgetting to add limiters when they're necessary can mess up your formula. So I'm just going to go back through. I don't want to do that. And update each of these with the correct range. And I'm just pasting in the range from the very first cell in this table and pasting it in. Okay, and then we can double check that our range is correct by just clicking and double checking that the correct range is selected, and it is. Okay, we got to do this just 2 more times, I believe. I'm gonna save my work. Let's do this for the parks. This one will be easier because we don't have like multiple selections. We can each program can only happen at one park. This is gonna be the death of me. That's really dramatic. It's not. All right, pasted that column over here. I'm gonna come over, select the whole thing, come over to data, remove duplicates, push OK. Each one should only occur once, so I'm gonna sort it. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm going to sort like this. Okay. Calabasas, Carrington, County of Sonoma Cemetery, Crane Creek, Doran Beach, Gualala, Helen Putnam, Hood, Mark West. Why are there multiple versions of Mark West? I'm going to go back through and just delete all of the spaces. See if that fixes our problem. Place all, okay. Close. All right, let's do that again. See if that fixes it. Data, remove duplicates. Okay. Spring Lake, Regal Ranch, Riverfront, Doran, Mark West. Oh, that was probably our issue. There's Mark West and Mark West Creek. So I'm going to come over here and remove Mark West Creek. And replace that with Mark West. Alright, and then we'll remove Mark West Creek from our list. Monterey, NA, North Sonoma, Regal, Riverfront, Okay, so we've got one cell in this table for each of our parks. Now we're gonna literally do the same thing again and count how many programs are happening at each park. So equals count if, select our range, which is over here. And then put in our criteria, which is Calabasas Creek. Add in those stars. This time we're not going to forget the limiters either. Alright, paste that down, and then we just have to copy the park name and update each of our formulas. Okay, now what's going on here? Inconsistent formula. Okay, that's fine. Feel free to skip through this part. I might fast forward it if I have enough time to actually edit this video. It'll likely not happen. We shall see. haven't ever analyzed this data, so it's kind of interesting to look through this program data. The park agency that this data comes from, there's over 60 parks, preserves, and trails, but it looks like there is only a fraction that are actually being utilized for programming, which is really interesting. I think Spring Lake is going to have the most programs. Looks like it. That's kind of like our central park. Alright, we've done it. And by we, I mean me, but soon to be we. Alright, so that's 3 out of 4. Next we will do staff. And again, this will be very, very similar to what we just did. Let's go ahead and do it. Gonna copy this column, paste it over here. I am going to do text to columns, data, text to columns, Gonna take all these folks, paste them down here. Okay, that didn't work. Take all, oh my god. Why? Take all of these folks, copy, no, cut, paste. Oh my goodness. Excel is so glitchy right now. I hope it doesn't crash. And paste. Alright, remove duplicates. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to sort it. A to Z. See if there's any cleaning that we missed. Ooh, Ellie or John. Let's go ahead and just find that, and then we'll update it. Find and select, find Ellie or John. Change this to Ellie, comma John. This one, Ellie, comma John. Okay, find all. Where is it? Y11. I think that's over here. Okay, that's the last one. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, Emily, Eric, Joey, John, Katya, Kristen, Liam, Mark, Maverick, Mitch, Michaela, Michelle, Paul, Perla, Roberta, Sarita. Awesome. Okay, so that's all unique staff categories. Boop, boop. Same jazz. Count if. Check out this range. Boop. Boop. Comma. First person is going to be Abby. Making sure to do that star. Paste it down. And changing the name. Ooh. Almost did it again. Almost did it again. Gotta add those limiters. It's much easier to do before you paste it down. Alright, now drag it down. Okay, and now update. I wonder who has done the most programs. I kind of feel like it's Alexis. That's my guess. Oh, I guess Andrew has already done more. My guess is incorrect. When I took this class and Jackson was teaching it, he created this class. But he took it, or I took it when he was teaching, I don't know if you have interacted much with Jackson, but he really likes dad jokes. And so he would start and finish, maybe just finish, sometimes start, I guess. He would tell dad jokes a lot, that's what I'm trying to say. And I looked up some like punny Excel jokes, and I'd like to share them with you now. Well, just one actually. And what it is, damn it, what is the joke? I'll think of it. And by think of it, I mean look it up again. We'll see. Maybe I'll put it in like the description of this video, if I can remember it. It had something to do with like a mummy and a baby. It was like a Halloween Excel joke. Mitch has done 39 programs? No shot. Oh, it's cause, oh no! It's cause Mitch has the same first letters as Michaela and Michelle. Okay, we're gonna have to figure that out. Should have used fake names for this project. That would have been easier. But this is realistic. Sometimes you have a Mitch, a Michelle, and a Michaela all on staff. You gotta figure out how to accurately analyze the data. Okay. We're gonna go and change all of Mitch's, we're gonna change Mitch to Mitch with an exclamation point and see if that helps us out. No, because we're gonna want, I guess we'll just change it manually. I knew Mitch didn't do 39 programs, no way. Let's do that, see if that works for us. Mitch has done 10 programs, and that seems to match up here. 1, 2. Oh, I gotta change it on every single one. Okay, this is a little tedious. This is something you're gonna want to do before, when you're cleaning the data, or just change Mitch's name completely to something else with the find and replace. Mitch, exclamation point. Mitch, exclamation point, Mitch, exclamation point. Okay, that should be all of them. Let's make sure this is reflecting that. Mitch, 13 programs, that seems much more realistic. And what I'm going to do now, the rest of this is going to be stuff that I think that you all had like a pretty easy time with. We're going to sort each of these tables by, from the number of programs. Let's go largest to smallest. So we'll go programs, largest to smallest. Okay. I did the most programs? No way. Okay, I don't need to check on that right now. Same thing over here. Sort A to Z. Number of programs, largest to smallest. Most at Spring Lake. NA. Oh, it's not doing the thing. I'm going to get rid of NA. NA is going to become this. We're going to change it in here to this. Change this in here to this. Okay, that makes more sense. Now we're going to resort this. Okay, yep. Again, sort, programs, largest to smallest, great. One more time, boom, boom, boom. Sort, programs, largest to smallest. My goodness, we've done it. I was going to make a chart for each of these things. So I'm going to select my chart. We're not doing a pivot chart, we're just going to insert a chart. Let's do a bar chart because, as we know, there's more categories accounted here than there are programs, so it doesn't add up to 100%. It adds up to less than 100%. So you want to do a bar chart. It's just going to be regular schmegular. And you can do some editing to make this chart nice. Definitely rename the chart title to audience categories. Go like number of programs per audience category. I'm going to copy this because I'm probably going to want to use similar verbiage. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Select the table, insert, bar chart. That one can go down there. Update the title. Number of programs per interest category. Boom, boom, boom. You can go over here. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, this one can be a pie chart because it does add up to 100. So select, insert, we'll do a pie chart. Yeehaw. Do y'all remember when we did all those like modifications when we were doing pivot charts, pivot tables? Let's make this pretty. So number of programs per part. And I want to go over here. Oh, no, that's I wanted to stay over here. The chart elements, I have a chart title. Data labels, I want them best fit. I don't want a legend. What else do I want on these data labels? More data label options. I want the category name. I also want to move it around maybe. Change chart type, no. Format data series. I can rotate it around. Maybe sliding will be faster. That's not horrible. That's okay. However, it like looks visually the best. I'm gonna make this bold and black. Play around with the aesthetics, but this one can be a pie chart. And last but not least, staff. So this will again be a bar chart because there can be multiple staff on one program. So insert, bar chart, boop, boop, boop. Got our the staff names, number of programs per staff member. All right. That looks good to me. Okay. So to turn, this is all you have to turn in. So I want to see a single sheet of data. I want to see your manually generated chart. Table for each of the questions. I want to see a chart for each of your tables. The only one that can be a pie chart is the park question, the number of programs per park. The rest of them need to be bar charts because they do not add up to 100%. I want to see that you've added a revenue column, and at the bottom of your revenue column is the total revenue for fall 2023. I want to see that your data is clean, and you'll definitely know that your data is clean because your charts and your tables make sense. You can go above and beyond and remove redundancy, but that's not required. It is good practice. Otherwise, that's it. Save your work and turn this in for the assignment that's due on Sunday at midnight. There's going to be not a long pause here, but I am going to look up that joke. Don't want to leave you guys hanging. Mummy Excel joke. Okay, what does the mummy spreadsheet feed its baby? Formula. It's a bad joke, but it's the only Excel joke that I could find that is somewhat Halloween themed. All right, everybody, have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Please let me know if any questions come up, all that jazz. Okay, bye.